From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. With the MSC $2,000 a month automatic adults check heating up, we're going to go over CR for Stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4.0's latest updates today. Breaking news all today. Then we'll be going over what the Ukraine-Russia change of events means for you and your wallet, and also for that CR for Stimulus. We'll be looking back into the latest predictions about what the Federal Reserve is going to do in the next 30 days, because this impacts your SS300, SS400. Remember, Joe Biden made that campaign promise to give you $200 a month on top of your existing benefits if you're on SSI and SSDI. But the kid with the purple shirt here in Santa Monica, California, is going to show you how Joe Biden can do it right today. $200 right today, $300 by Christmas, and $400 thereafter. It's SS400, and we look at the latest breaking news of financial data across the board. Also breaking news on Afternoons today is new economic predictions and programs proposed by the Republicans. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they falling apart? And do they not have support? We have a lot coming up in this video, folks, today as we go over the incredible Build Back Better Act, the fourth stimulus recon that will pass still in the Senate. The CR for Stimulus 1, 2, and 3, and 4.0 with an inherent deadline of one of them just a few days away. SS300 that could raise your benefits up a lifetime. We're going to go over everything you need to know, including who makes those lobster shorts. No, we're going to skip that part of the video. We're just not going to cover that part of the video. As one viewer said, my fiance says you have to get back all the stimulus. No, but I think you should get back that engagement ring. Those incredible details and more coming up right now as Afternoons LALATE gets underway from Santa Monica, California. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing well. The weather is up here in Southern California, thank goodness, because it has been bitterly cold. Hope the weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me how your weather is doing where you are and where you're tuning in from. The fourth stimulus recon pass in the House, sent to the Senate, will get passed, says spokesperson Andrew Bates. And new comments on it detailed in today's video, but also going to get passed is CR for Stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4.0. 1.0 is the budget bill. 2 and 3.0 is economic recovery legislation, and 4.0 is the Russian sanctions bill. The Build Back Better has the repeat of third stimulus checks in there, pay you at least $45,000. But stay at this very end of this video because I'm going to show you how viewers have cleaned up. Have you cleaned up this week, grabbing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 of checks this week? You should have. I'm going to show you how you still can. It's third stimulus. And this is why viewers of this channel are cashing checks, not tracking checks, on a daily basis. We're going to go over all the latest details of those checks you can get right today. You want some checks? You want tens of thousands of dollars of checks? Stay to the very end. It's coming up in this video. We got a lot to go over in today's video with breaking news. Plus, I have new indications about Trump and Putin, the new details about the Republicans' idea stimulus, Holly's news comments about Russia, and also what the Federal Reserve is likely to do in less than just a few days from now that impacts your wallet and, of course, impacts stimulus. All those incredible details coming up in this video, but first, I need your assistance. Go under this video right now and subscribe. You're watching LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. Broadcast, cable, or internet. I want you part of this incredible family and grow this family across the board. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Get those incredible newsletters that come out Monday through Friday that features all the big money in first, second, and third stimulus. Tens of thousands of dollars you can get. Sign up for those LA alerts, totally free. A link to which is also in the video's description. And don't forget to tune in to a brand new Evenings LA coming up later tonight. Let's go over the Build Back Better Act, the fourth stimulus recon that has been passed in the House, sent to the Senate. Let's go over all those checks because they're still staying in there, and there's a lot of them. Upwards of $15,000 to $60,000 of checks. My fiance says there is no stimulus checks. Yeah, time to find a new fiance because the Build Back Better Act has $15,000 to $60,000 of checks in there already. Passed the House, and they're staying in there, folks. They're going to be added on top of. Those aren't coming out. So let's go over all these checks, multiple checks, which you qualify for. Get your pen and paper ready. Take note. Here we rock and roll. Cluster number one got in there, has to pay one more year of the earned income tax credit under third stimulus. Learn about it at irs.gov. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. $4,000 of care for young children, got it in there. The CTC, the Child Tax Credit checks for young children 17 years or younger, done under third stimulus, extended under fourth stimulus. These are the checks for the children. So the child is newborn to 17. These are their checks. Learn about it at irs.gov. It's extended under fourth stimulus. They also got the $550 check for the Pell Grant college students across the board. And then they got $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. It's deliciousness, but we're just starting there. There is 3 add-ons of checks, and one of the 3 add-ons is one that is really excited so many viewers of this channel. Lynn, Glenn, Ryan, and many others are just really excited about this provision. I am for you as well. It is money to buy your first home. This is money given from the federal government to the seller in your name shortly before the close of escrow on that new home. This is your first time home, and we don't know anything beyond those qualifications, but stay in tune because this is where we rock and roll. I want you to know all these provisions, so drop any important questions you have about how do I get this money? Where does this money land? How does it work? Send to me on private message or jump on the live chat. I love tough questions. Now let's go to that second cluster of checks, home repairs and paid leave. Home repairs is to weatherize your home. Every time the neighbors move in and all wear lobster shorts. Oh, natural disaster. And paid leave every time you have to stay home from work because everyone showed up at work and made you ill wearing lobster shorts. Yeah, it's hard working in that Senate office with him. There we go. How much is the paid leave? It's a lot of money. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 or more per year, it's $800 a week. $15,000 annual salary, $400 a week. How many weeks? 4 to 6 weeks per year. Wow, that is incredible. W-2, 1099, you all qualify for the incredible sums of money. Now, if your son or daughter works and lives in the household, but you don't work, don't worry, because if the son or daughter has to take you to the doctor's office once a week, they'll get the check for their time off from work. This is why this is so incredible. Which brings us then to the second add-on of checks. Millions of Americans who are seniors or people on disabilities do not have home health care. Can you imagine? No home health care. It's not provided in their Medicare or their benefits. Well, Joe Biden promised it, and he got it in there via Bob Casey. Thank you, Bob, for this great provision. $250 billion, a little bit less, for free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. You'll never have to worry about getting home health care if you need it later in life. Thank goodness. Let's go over the third cluster checks, seniors and free internet. Free internet for all checks. There is some free internet currently right now, so people are asking, can I get that free internet now? There has been since December 2020. I've been featured a lot on this channel. Drop a comment, reach out to the community volunteers if you need to get that money. They also got in there checks for farmers, checks for independent contractors, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for free school meals for all, and then checks for seniors. Chew checks on the house, which are the Medicaid gap fix, more about that in a second, and the hearing checks. But then on the Senate side, they vow to add 3 other checks, which are dental checks, vision checks, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55, which is par for the course of senators adding checks to this recon. Because guess what other checks they vow to add to this recon? Jump in the live chat and write those 3 letters. I think you know what they are. MSC. Let's go over what MSC is right now. And for some, it stands for multiple sugar-free chocolate cake recipes. That's on Home LALATE and Home Stream is stimulus today on this channel. But for others, it stands also for monthly IRS stimulus checks. So the recon, the Build Back Better Act, has lots of checks in there. $15,000 to $60,000 of checks. But the MSCs were checks that would be added in there on top of that. These are monthly checks sent out from IRS to you. Automatic checks for adults. Children get the checks under the CTC checks, which we just went over. So who gets these MSC checks? The legislators represented tens of thousands of viewers of this channel since May of last year that the eligibility would be the same as a third stimulus check. Let's recap. Single individuals, 75,000 less, get it. Married couple, 150,000 less annual income, you get as well. Double it, because there's two of you. Family of four, you get as well. Quadruple it. Here's that family of four. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security rail benefits, you get it as well. Adult dependents also get it. It's not income, it's not taxable. And it's offered on a nationwide basis. So someone says, it's only for California. No, in California, it comes with a surfboard. So we only have surfboard stimulus in California. And it's an electric surfboard. So I don't think it's useful in Kentucky. No, it is not California stimulus. Jesus, that is like a redo of a song for the '60s. California stimulus stream dreaming. Yeah, I just no. That's not. That's not what it is. And it comes out from the federal government. Now let's go over the most important question, which is how much? How much is this darn thing? It is $2,000 a month. The first month, and $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. No time to be a donut gal or a donut guy. We haven't seen donut gal in a while. How are you, donut gal? We're cashing checks on this channel. We're cashing checks. But this is an automatic adult check. I don't want you to just be sitting around and waiting for that delicious donut. I want you to get the big other sums of money. Tens of twenties of thousands of dollars viewers have gotten later in this video this week. So stay to me later in this video. We all love a donut, but stay with me because I want you to get money right now in addition to this big money in the forced stimulus recon. So the question is, how do they get this money into the recon, including the MSE? They do it on the Senate side. The legislation passed in the House, now sent to the Senate, and the Senate will modify the legislation in Senate subcommittee. Then they start to add the stuff in there they want to add in there. Chuck, Liz, Ron, they all have lots to add, they say, including that MSC. Then they have a bill. Then they call for a vote on the Senate floor. Then we pass a bill in the Senate. They set it to a vote-a-rama 2 days, and away we go, rock and roll. But we've been waiting high and low to get this done, and we deserve something else while we're waiting, and a little bit more than just a donut. We deserve some CR for stimulus. 4 weeks ago, I brought it back on this channel. It made history in 2020. I created it. I said to viewers, do you want it back? And they said, yes. Let's go over what CR for stimulus is first, what it was in 2020, and what it has now birthed right now. CR for stimulus 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. What is CR for stimulus? The concept is very simple. We support Build Back Better for stimulus. It will get done, but we need a check now. In addition to the third stimulus, which of course you can get right now. We need a check now. And so what we need is a bipartisan piece of legislation, small bill, gets done with inherent deadline quickly, and we can insert a check in there. And in 2020, that is what I had done. In 2020, spring of 2020, we had gotten our first stimulus package. The pandemic had just started, and millions of Americans needed more money. We all needed more money, and we looked high and low and wondered, where's the next pot of money? We were told about a second stimulus package. Package means it's thousands of pages of length. But spring, no deal. And the negotiators at the time were Nancy Pelosi out of on behalf of the Democrats out of San Francisco, Speaker of the House, and Steve Mnuchin, then Treasury Secretary out of New York on behalf of the Republicans. Spring negotiations, no deal. Fall, no deal. Winter, no deal. December, no deal. And I said, we can't do this. We got to get something else. And I figured out the solution. The solution on off air, I thought to myself, small bill, inherent deadline, something we inserted in there and gets done, bipartisan support, continuing resolution. What is a continuing resolution? It is a bill that's done every 4 to 6 months to fund the federal government. And that funding of the federal government has an inherent deadline. They don't roll over weeks or months. They get it done. So in December 2020, I went on air. I said to viewers, are you ready for a solution to the 11 months of negotiations of second stimulus that have gotten us nothing yet? Viewers said yes. And I delivered that first recording. Here is CR for stimulus. The concept is very simple. Let's try to advocate for insertion of a stimulus check into the continuing resolution, whose deadline right now is December 2020. They got to get it done. They're going to get it done. Get that check in there. And when that CR passes, you're going to get a check. Viewers advocated. And we pushed, and that hashtag campaign, if you're on the live chat right now, write it right now. Someone just wrote it. CR for stimulus. We pushed, and immediately as we pushed, we were ready for the criticism. I was ready for the criticism as well. The criticism was exactly as I anticipated. A stimulus check in a continuing resolution, it doesn't belong in there, ally. Continuing resolutions to fund the federal government. A check for the American people doesn't belong in there. And my reaction was, you're right. Continuing resolutions to fund the national parks, run the federal government. But just because it doesn't belong in there doesn't mean we can't put it in there. Since the start of time, Congress has passed legislation where they've inserted checks into stuff that doesn't belong in there, and they can insert this check as well. During the pandemic, they were notorious with this. They had a COVID relief bill that proposed to give money to foreign military governments, a COVID relief bill that proposed to expand the Department of Copyright Rights, and another one to build a new FBI building. They could insert that check in there, and finally, they did. CR for stimulus became reality. We woke up one morning and were told that a stimulus unemployment benefits were put into the CR. We said, oh, good, but that's not what we asked for. So we pushed again. And finally, it got in there. A $600 stimulus check was inserted into the continuing resolution in December 2020 and was sent out to the American people. I made history. My creation on this channel got Americans a $600 stimulus check in December 2020. The viewership of this channel, the community called the Purple Power community, which someone said yesterday in the live chat, the nicest group of people they've ever met online. It is. It's a great group, a wonderful community that really fosters support, kindness, thoughtfulness, and never enough bacon. And too much lobster shorts on some days. But other than that, they're perfect. And they said, you know what? Let's do it. And you made history, Purple Power, in 2020. CR for stimulus went out. Guess what happened? Second stimulus did not happen. Second stimulus never went to a vote, never went to a bill, never paid anyone a penny. So the $600 stimulus check you got in December 2020, thank goodness for that, 3 weeks ago, now 4 weeks ago, I brought back on air CR for Stimulus 1.0, trying to do it again in a new CR. The latest CR has an inherent deadline of early March, so we're trying to insert a stimulus check in there right today as well. What your advocacy should look like right now, is picking up the phone and contacting those senators to say, you know what? You have promised us since May of 2021 that in Build Back Better Act, you're inserting MSCs. We've had your back. We've been patient. We support Build Back Better. We still do. But you need to insert a check into the continuing resolution. You did it in December 2020, so you can do it again right now. And you did it in 2020 because you wanted to win those 2 Georgia Senate seats for Raphael Warnock and Ossoff. You put it in there to win those Georgia Senate seats. And Republicans wanted to put it in there as well to win seats in the Senate as well. So put it in there. In the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how they can, how it's now made so easy for those senators to put it in there. And those senators you're seeing on air, Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. I'll tell you after the commercial break what you should be saying to them. Plus, we'll be looking over to the incredible great news about CR for Stimulus 2.0. 2.0 is heating up. That is a passed legislation now in the Senate for economic recovery. Third, CR Stimulus 3.0 in the Senate is merging with 2.0. And 4.0 is the Russian sanctions bill. I have brand new details about that, of course, because the situation in Russia and Ukraine is brand new as well. I have the latest comments about what the Republicans are trying to do for stimulus. This is brand new, folks. Plus, what the Federal Reserve is looking at right now and how that could impact the SS 300. Do you want $300 on top of your existing benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits? I bet you do. It's coming up in the second half of this video. We got a lot coming up in the second half of this video. It's all breaking news. It's all brand new today. I'm excited you're here. All these incredible details coming up in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as we go over more about these incredible details and more about the big money that is available across the land. But here's what's important for you to know is that there is a lot of legislation, a lot of money for you to cash, and we're here to cash checks, not to track checks. See you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in Santa Monica, California, as Afternoons LA continues with a brand new big recording of breaking news. CR for Stimulus 1, 2, 3, 4.0, all big breaking updates. And then SS 300. Yeah, you heard me right. Heading to SS 400, big updates on that. Plus Build Back Better Act, what's going on with those details, and the big money that you can get right today from third stimulus. Do you want to go into the weekend with an extra $20,000 in your hand? I bet you do. It's third stimulus, because that's what we do on this channel. We're cashing checks, not tracking checks. Those incredible details coming up in the second half of this video. I'm excited you're here, but I need your assistance. Go under this video right now and subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, LALATE. We went ahead to number 2 among cable, broadcasts, and internet. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Also sign up for those LA alerts, a link to which is under the video's description. And with that, let's go over where we are on CR for Stimulus 1.0, which is where we left off before the commercial break. The great news on CR for Stimulus 1.0 is the following. Now, remember, which one is this? This is the one where we're trying to insert a stimulus check for you that goes out right away into a small piece of legislation that happens before Build Back Better Act for stimulus. Doesn't replace it, it happens before. CR for Stimulus 1.0 is inserted into the budget bill, the original incarnation of CR. It's actually the real CR. There's a lot of great news about this. First, it has an inherent deadline of just a few days away in early March, number 1. Number 2, it has bipartisan support. So the bipartisan support is among Republicans and Democrats, House and Senate. Number 3, they've agreed upon in negotiations $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds to be inserted in there on top of the other funds. And the discretion of those funds and how they're to be used are in the discretion of the U.S. cabinet members of Joe Biden, including Janet Yellen, your Treasury Secretary, who oversees Treasury checks, IRS. Wow, this is looking good. So what you want to be doing is advocating, and I've seen some of the great tweets you've been doing right as well. It's beautiful tweets, beautiful emojis, beautiful messaging, very on point, saying the numbers exactly. You've been doing a great job. Also pick up the phone and call them. Say, hey, $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds. You can get a check in there. Send us out a check. Between you and I, let's look at the situation. This is heating up right now for midterm elections. Everyone's talking about midterm elections. And it's just like December 2020 when they were trying to win your votes with those 2 Georgia Senate seats. They want to hold their Senate seats, whether they're Republican or Democrat. They want to pick up new seats, then give us a check. Give us a check. Insert it in there. They have bipartisan support, $1.5 trillion, which is an enormous sum of money, folks. This is great news. We're not talking about, $600 billion, and I'm saying, I don't know if there's enough money in there for a stimulus check. It's $1.5 trillion. And then the discretion is in the right place. So this can be done. This is a no-brainer. You're going to see in the comments coming up in just a second, these are brand new today, that I have Republicans, long-standing Republicans, that all say there is big inflationary concerns across the board. I'm trying to wonder if I can read this quote on air. I guess I can. It's just I'm pausing to wonder if I can run this quote. I guess I could say. I'm going to see if I can change the words. Billy Long is a longtime Republican seeking to replace GOP Senator Roy Blunt. You remember him, a senator from Missouri. Says that every time folks are purchasing anything, the sales tax meter's spinning. I vote to no, and everyone's understanding that prices are going through the roof. This quote came from him when he walked into Dick's Sporting Goods to buy stuff that you go duck hunting with. I don't want to say what the item is because I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, you can't say certain words on channels. But yeah, if you want to go going after ducks, and I don't mean mating with ducks. That's what he was buying, and he says I can't buy it; it's too expensive. So no ducks for you at Dick's. No, your ducks are do not have your ducks lined up in a row at Dick's. So there you go. He said the price is too expensive. He's being dicked around with these prices about the ducks. So cow. And I'm being blunt about it with the blood replacements. It's just one of these videos, folks. All right, so that's the for Stimulus 1.0. They need to insert this stimulus check in there. This is ridiculous gamemanship. I mean, for them not to do it would make no sense. You want to retain government seats, whether you're Republican or Democrat in the House or Senate, in the Senate especially. Do it. That is CR for Stimulus 1.0. Let's go to CR for Stimulus 2 and 3. That is the economic relief legislation. So Pete Aguilar, Democrat, California representative, says he wants to get lots of economic pieces of legislation out. The breaking news today is I don't have a second one from him. I still have the first one. So I'm waiting for, hey, Pete, do you have the second one? The first one passed the House within 24 hours after he did it. So can we just sort of pass some more? That has now been sent to the Senate. I like it. Bernie may not like it, but I like it because it's economic relief. Economic versus Bernie stuff. Bernie stuff is dental, vision, and hearing. He wants you to breathe, talk, chew, and see. I'm also on point with him on that, but I also want you to have money in your wallet. And that's economic recovery. That's the Office Stimulus 2.0 has been merged with 3.0 in the Senate. Because Todd Young, Republican, says, we love what the House Democrats did. Excuse me? Did I hear that quote right? Yeah, he likes what they're doing. Let me go over what's going on here, folks. And you see more of it today. Republicans and Democrats, House and Senate, both see a big issue. And the big issue is the midterm elections. The midterm elections is now spinning very early on in this equation. I mean, we're very months early on it, but they all understand they have to pass economic pieces of legislation to retain their seats or pick up new seats. And this is different than 2020 when Republicans said, the economy's great. You don't need anything. Now they're saying the economy's horrible. You need something. And Democrats are agreeing that you need something. So now suddenly they're all trying to figure out solutions. And that is why the situation is very fluid. Now, something you're hearing for the first time today on Afternoons LA is that Republicans and Democrats cannot particularly agree upon what type of economic relief they want to give you. So there's different camps even among the Republicans. I'm often featuring the progressives and the moderate Democrats. Well, guess what? The Republicans can't agree upon it. The Billy Long quote was referring to something that's being proposed by former Missourian Senator Rich Scott, which was a plan to take back the Senate in the midterm elections by, breathe, I'm going to say this with a straight face because it sounds ridiculous, taxing low-income individuals more. Excuse me? Excuse me? What? So thank goodness for Billy Long, because he's short on, and to the point. He says, we're not doing that. And guess who also said this? Of all the Republicans that a leading publication reached out to get a quote, whether they're on point with Rick Scott, who's, one of the Republican caucus leaders. Are you in support of Rick Scott's policies for how to do economic recovery? No, we're not. No, we're not. And here came a comment from Representative Mo Brooks in Alabama and Chuck Morris in New Hampshire and Adam Laxalot in Nevada said, absolutely, we're opposed to raising taxes. We don't raise taxes. We're Republicans. And do we raise taxes on poor people? What are we talking about here? His entire career, Mo Brooks has fought to raise taxes. And there you go. Ironically, yesterday I talked about Raphael Warnock, the Democrat out of Georgia, looking to cut taxes, which is a very Republican platform, but a Democrat trying to do across the board. So there you go. Let's now turn to CR for Stimulus 4.0. This is the Russian sanctions bill. Now, this one, folks, is getting to be ridiculous. Why is it ridiculous? The Russian sanctions bill should have been done 3 weeks ago, and Chuck never called it for a vote before the presidential weekend. Republicans and Democrats. Lindsey Graham on the Republicans, Marco Rubio on behalf of the Democrats. We have Bob Menendez saying call for a vote. Now, you may have heard that the president has now sanctioned Russia. That's different than the Russian sanctions bill. So I want to clarify that for you. There's a lot of everyone sanctioning Russia. UK sanctioning Russia, the European community. This is a sanctions bill coming out of the House, out of the Senate. This has an opportunity to insert a check in there. But do I feel any sort of squeeziness about it? Sorta. Not really clear at the moment because there are Republicans who are leading the way to get this passed. And then, surprisingly, the Republicans opposing it, we're learning today. Why? Not because they don't want to give you stimulus, because they want to go after China instead of Russia. Can we deal with one country at a time? Here's Josh Hawley, the protagonist du jour, actually protagonist every single day, who says that when asked about what to do with this, he says the issue at hand is we need to deal with China, not Russia. Okay, Lord. So there we go. Do I think CR for Stimulus 4.0 will pass? I think it will. And with that, let's turn to the incredible great news about SS300. Oh boy, folks, this is exciting. And this is getting very exciting, but also getting a little bit peculiar. Why? Because of how much inflation is at hand. When we talk about SS300, you heard me right on this channel, we're always talking about inflation. Let's go back over where we got to this point. And I'm going to start with the present and then take it back. The present is, a week ago, I said, I got a solution for you. Here's how you can do SS200 and get you $200 more per month, starting 30 days out from the time of this recording if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, RB, or any of my beneficiaries. Then about a week ago, I said I can get you another $100 by December. That's SS300. And I said if we stay with this, which I think we would, we'd add about another $60 every year. That's SS400. Well, the details I'm going to go over with you basically first right now. Then I'll go over the breaking news that's new about these numbers right now. And then I'll go over how Joe Biden can get this done. The details are very simple. All you do is replace COLA, your current benchmark, with inflation. And inflation for the month of December 2021 came in at 8%, really 7.5%, exactly the number I predicted. That means that if you switch from COLA to inflation right today, your benefits will go up $200 a month. Done. Very simple. I don't have to make this confusing for you. It's as simple as that. Then we stay with it. Guess what? COLA gets reassessed next December, and your benefits go up next January. This December, then next January. That means you get another $100. That's SS300. And that means by January of 2023, you'd be up $300 from where you are right now. Every year thereafter, you go up about an $80, $90 at least. Let's go over why these numbers are now heating up. This is breaking news right today. I told you when we talked about this stimulus in spring of last year that it's all about inflation. When we're talking about SS200, we're talking about inflation. First, let's understand what SS200 is and where it came from. SS200 was a concept created by Liz Warren during her presidential campaign run 2 years ago, in which she said she wanted to raise your benefits up and replace COLA with inflation. Great idea. She's good with the economic numbers, Liz. And inflation historically has been hotter than COLA. COLA doesn't move. January last year, the kid with the purple shirt, today it's the pink shirt, out of California, said, I'm sorry, I like you, Jay Powell, but you're wrong. Jay Powell was telling millions of Americans that the inflation rate in December 2021 was going to be 1% to 2% and temporary or transitory. I said wrong. It's going to be 8% and not temporary. That the Wall Street analyst at the time said it's going to be 2% to 3% and temporary. I said wrong. It's going to be 8%. Well, guess what happened? The numbers came in last month for the month of December. Remember, they're 30 days out. December 2021 inflation numbers showed that this economy is not where anyone said it was going to be, except me. I said 8%, and guess where it came in at? 7.5% for the month of December 2021. I immediately then told you in the days thereafter, in early January of this year, that I believe that the inflation rate, when it's announced for January 2021, because remember, it doesn't get announced till this month, February, will likely be around 8% or worse. Well, all indications now suggest, again, I'm right. Here's what it is. Inflation in some states is now tracking at 12%, like Florida, like California. You can see the inflation yourself going to buy the milk and eggs, and the gasoline. You can see that it has gone up more than it was 30 days ago. Moreover, we have the producer price index number that was released about 2 weeks ago, came in at a whopping 11%. I mean, it's just so high, folks. It's just enormous. And guess what's also new is that within just a few days, I will have new numbers for you about where the inflation is going right now. In remarks released just hours ago, the comments came that Fed Governor Michelle Bowman believes that there could be a 15 basis point hike in March from the Federal Reserve. I need to breathe. Am I hyperventilating? No, I'm not. I'm just, what, Michelle? Okay. Federal Reserve is trying to deal with inflation, and as it sees inflation is much more out of control than it's 1% that it predicted. It's looking at interest rate spikes. We thought there was going to be 1, then we heard 5 this year. Well, now it's looking like 7. But we were talking about 25% basis points. Now we're worried that the March meeting, may not be 25%, may not be 25 basis points, maybe 50 basis points. We would take it very seriously, says Citigroup economist Andrew Holtzsort in a new comment today. But he says that the Fed is looking for the new economic data that's coming out in just a few days from now. It's this Friday. This Friday, folks, you got to tune into this channel because the Commerce Department released its personal income and outlays report for January. Remember, the data's delayed 1 month. That'll include personal consumption expenditures index, the PPI, which is how the Fed determines inflation. And the estimates are currently looking at a 5.1% increase, which would be the highest since 1983. Seriously, the situation right now is the following. In my prediction, let's see if I'm right by Friday. 1, inflation is tracking at about 8% right now in my prediction and not going down. Number 2, the inflation rate will track at about 4% by December 2021 and not go into the 2 or 3% range. It'll be somewhere in the 4% range. So that means if Joe Biden changed this right today, you get 8% right now, boost up. That would be about $200 a month for SSI and SSDI and VAs. And then if it's 4% this December, you get another $100 on top of that. How does Joe Biden do this? Just a darn phone call, Joe. You can make a phone call. I'll give you the phone. I'll get you the cell phone. Here you go. We'll get you one of those $60 disposable phones at the market. Here you go. Call the number. Contact the Social Security Administrator. Say, hey, replace COLA with inflation. I don't know why he's not doing this. This is so simple. Millions of Americans are struggling because of inflation. We all admit that. Republicans and Democrats all admit that. Even the White House admits it. So why not do something that solves this situation? Have the Social Security Administration understand that they're going to start paying benefits out 30 days from now based upon inflation, not COLA. That would raise you up immediately and then get you a new raise up in December. He wrote in his campaign speeches, in his campaign literature, and in his transition papers as president-elect, this is an urgent situation that needs to be done right now. Well, that was then. I haven't said this a long time, folks, but I think it's sort of obvious. When he wrote his transition papers at joebiden.com, which is still published then, they were in November of 2020. You know how much higher inflation is right today than then? Here's case in point. Home Depot reported corporate earnings yesterday. And they talked about, by the way, the stock was down like 30%. It's down the worst it's been in over 10 years. Why? Because they think that the numbers should have been higher. More importantly, during the conference call, the CEO of Home Depot said, to frame a house, it's gone in just a few weeks from $700 to frame a small house to almost $2,000 to frame a house because the price of lumber, inflation. And this is after lumber had to ride up. So this is why you have to do this SS300 right away. Next, the president has the opportunity to repurpose sums of money, and that repurposing sums of money is really at issue. Pick up the phone, Joe, and contact over to those agencies that have existing COVID relief programs that expired and repurpose the money. Send it out as a check. Get relief to the American people. Get relief to the American people. The ticking time clock is very at hand. The Republicans and Democrats both understand that millions of Americans are suffering right at the point. The the long comment, the Billy Long comment was every time I go out, folks purchasing anything, The sales tax meter is spinning. He says inflation is a huge tax increase on Americans already. So Joe Biden already beat Rick to the punch on raising taxes. That's sort of sarcasm as you've never seen it before. So he's basically saying inflation is hurting your wallet. Of course it is. And then then Rick Scott, who's a Republican, wants to then raise your taxes if you are low income. It doesn't make any sense. The Vladimir Putin situation I'm going to deal with in a second, but now let's turn over into forced stimulus. I want you to know all these incredible checks of the Build Back Better Act. We're going to zoom through them. Then I'm going to cut into third stimulus because that money is where people are getting checks today. You need checks, folks. You need checks right now. You need money right now. I want you to get that third stimulus. Every week I can get you another $10,000. I've done my duty and you've done your service to yourself as well. Let's go over fourth stimulus first before we get to third stimulus in about 2 minutes from now. In that fourth stimulus, they have the tax break checks, the SALT deductions raising from $10,000 to $72,500. They got cheaper prescription medication, growing it from 20 at day one to 30 at 2028. Medication like Medicare Part B and D, cancer, arthritis, diabetes. They got $40 billion of free job training checks in there. They got the Medicaid gap fix in there that'll provide low-income uninsured people in 12 Republican holdout states insurance that is subsidized. They got in there the housing assistance, which we're going to go back to a second. They got in there the Pell Grant, $550 checks to college students. They got in there the CTC, one more year, the earned income tax for the hazard pay, earned income tax credit for the hazard pay, and the household tax credit. But let's turn to that rent because it is so much money. And the rent is the real success story of third stimulus. This is where we talk about cashing checks, not tracking checks. Donut guy, donut gal, when's that check landing in my hand? Anti-donut gal and anti-donut guy, this. People are actually cashing checks. Every day another viewer cashes a check on this channel because they listen to this informational financial news channel. They learn how to get the checks. If they're confused, they ask questions, and the questions are answered by me on private message or to the volunteers or to the fellow viewers, and they cash the checks. For someone who sits around and says, when's it landing in my mailbox, they ain't learning anything. They're just looking to collect on sums of money. Let's go over the incredible details of this rent. This is part of third stimulus. Passed in January 2021. It's still paying out. And it's grown a lot. You see Nisi's name potentially under the Richard. It's under the overlay of Afternoons LA, the overlay graphic. She got $20,000 of rent at the time. But she got an additional sum of money this week. So how do you get this rent? From 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State Housing Authority. The 3 you must do. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must get application on file everywhere, and you must do multiple rounds. Now, what's important to understand is when I say that, I mean it for a purpose. I have one long-standing viewer who I loved greatly. He was in the live chat yesterday on the show saying, I can't find any money where I am. I said, how many of the 6 places did you reach out to? He said, I just reached out to the city. Just the city? So of the 6 places you reached out to, 1 of 6? You didn't even reach out to City Housing Authority? You didn't reach out to state or county, or you just reached out to 1? And you didn't even reach out to the nonprofits? So I got 11 places to reach out to, and you reached out to 1 and got a no, and you stopped. Do you think you deserve money? I'm going to be tough on you right here. The viewer knows who he is. I'm going to be tough on you. You reach out to 1 place and you stop and you got a no. You ain't cutting it. You are playing games with yourself. You need to listen to the video and reach out to all the different places. If you like a no and you end, well, then that's your mindset of life. If you like to push and get money, then you're like this. See Mark's name again? Yeah, Mark was here. He got $25,000. He heard me at the time get as many sums of money. He got another $6,000. Guess what? He also told his brother-in-law about this channel. His brother-in-law got $15,000 a year for utilities. But his brother-in-law, again, how you get utility assistance because of COVID, reach out to all utility companies. Next SNAP, what you get from the Department of Agriculture for food. Mark got money for this, but he also told his brother-in-law got $25,000 a year for his family. Over the next 10 years, that's $250,000. Here's Nisi. Remember her? She got 3 items at the time. $23,000. Mark had 2. I said, Mark was your third. 32 went to $50,000. He listened. He did not stop at 32. He got 50. Now he's at over 100,000. He listened. Lorraine, she listened. She went from 105 to 120. And guess who also listened? Nisi. Nisi, like others, listened this week, and she understood what I've been saying. Get another round of this money today. If you're new to this channel, you just found this channel, then reach out to all 6 places for the rent. And you want to get this round as far out as possible, like May. If you are a long-standing viewer and got money before, get another round right now. Now, I'm not going to name call any viewer in this chat, but I know the viewers that got rounds like in December because I read them on air. And I haven't heard from some of them saying that they got another round. I don't want to, crack the whip, but I want to say, I know you got a round of rent in December. Where's your round of rent this time? Have you tried? Have you made the phone call? You don't need it? Now, I see that viewer in the viewers. There's a lot of them. I mean, a lot of viewers got a round of rent in December. Now, some of you may still be enjoying that rent. It may have been December, January, February, March. So maybe you're not teed up ready to get another round yet. But many times the rounds overlap. Let's say you got the rent for up to March, but you didn't get the utilities to March. So go get the utilities. I see you in the live chats. I know you got rent 1 or 2 times before this channel, from this channel in the last year, or utilities. Why have you not gotten another pot of money? Here's Karen. She got about $40,000 last week. $23,000 for rent, $13,000 for SNAP, $3,500 for utilities. I know it takes an effort. I know it takes an effort to make the phone call. And I haven't featured Johnny on this channel for a while, and I think I really need to feature him today. What is Johnny's incredible story? It's a 3-part story that shows you why effort is key. And the effort started with Johnny by picking up the phone and calling 17 places in 1 week. You're going to have a 50% rejection rate, folks. But he called 17 places. He got 7 places, 15 places. He got 7 places approved. He got $80,000. He got 7 rejections and 7 yeses. So for the viewer that says, I reached out to 1, I got a rejection, I'm done. You ain't putting the effort in. I'm giving you tough love. You ain't putting the effort in. Put the effort in. You also got the nonprofits that refund these sums, that replenish these monies every January. Next, let's go end with my commentary of what's happening with Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin, Ukraine. Number 1 question and number 1 comment I expect to see, and I've been talking about it for a few days, is that does this impact your discussion about stimulus? No, because that is the purview of Congress more than the president. Now, the president is a big cheerleader for your stimulus. So when he's dealing with Vladimir, he's also not, when he's talking about Vladimir, he's also not talking about this. But here's the situation at hand. President's walking a tightrope at the moment. And this is my commentary in today's video. He's walking a tightrope because he says, I'm not getting involved with Ukraine and Russia. I'll sanction. And, but I'm not going to dedicate U.S. troops and we're not going to have a battle on the ground. Okay. Well, if you're not doing that, what are you doing with the economy? What are you doing with the economy? Inflation's out of control. Building bridges ain't going to fix the inflation. Talking about, climate and clean energy for 6 months and wasted everyone's time on clean energy didn't fix inflation. You got to prioritize. And we talked about prioritizing things in this administration about a month ago. And that was with Ron Klain. President's number 1 priority, if it's not Ukraine and Russia, according to him, should be your wallet and dealing with inflation. Who knew? Who knew that in 2020, when I was making the very first videos on this channel about second stimulus, and we were dealing with lockdowns, COVID, business shuttered, losing jobs, people need relief because of economic problems. Who knew? I didn't know it. 2 years later, you'd have similar economic problems because of something post or end of COVID related, inflation. The situation is not going away. It again is another economic problem. It again needs stimulus. It again needs a lot of it. And stimulus meaning it needs to go to your wallet. It needs to go to your wallet, not just fix your vision and your dental. That has to be fixed as well. We need to fix your wallet. People cannot afford $400 more per month in Tampa for basic household items. I'm not talking about, luxury items. extra $400. You can't have people seeing rent go up 600% in certain states and in certain cities in Florida. You cannot see gasoline tracking at $5 a gallon in some states that are used to seeing it at $1 a gallon or $2 a gallon. I mean, in Los Angeles, we're always used to gas expensive. I mean, we're just used to it. It's always been our way because we're not near those factories and those tankers. But in the states where gasoline is tracked at $1, $2, $3 a gallon for many years, you can't keep it consistently at $5 a gallon. And I mean consistently, I mean week after week after week. The Ukraine-Russia situation is not going away. And the situation with inflation is going to get worse as Ukraine and Russia is going to get worse. It was no less than 3 months ago that on this channel that I said that Russia and Ukraine is a very big situation for 2022. I delivered the first videos on this channel about Russia and Ukraine in about October before Halloween. And I said it's going to be the #1 financial news channel subject of this channel in 2022 because it's going to cause the stock market to crash. It has. Cause cryptocurrencies to crash. It has. It will cause gasoline to go up. Third. And it will just do it based upon the rumor. And I said the rumor of the invasion will come before the news of the invasion. We're still sort of in rumor mode because we don't know how far the man wants to invade into Ukraine, if he wants to invade all of Ukraine or just those eastern separatist regions, those two of them. The problem is that inflation is here, it's impacting your wallet, and if Ukraine and Russia is not the top priority of the president, then inflation and getting money to you right today needs to be right across the board. The great news is that Democrats and Republicans all believe that economic recovery needs to get to you. They need to act quickly because this will be the changing point for those seats for stimulus. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family, so subscribe. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. We got evenings LALATE at 5 o'clock. We have evenings at Countdown at 6 o'clock. We have Street Stimulus at 7, and then we have evenings extra at 8 o'clock. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening. Stay informed, stay focused. Always stay on point. Always stay motivated. And always stay where the breaking financial news is on LALATE.